Alacrity is noun. It implies a sense of enthusiasm and promptness. Refers to a cheerful readiness, willingness, or eagerness to do something. The students responded to the teacher's request with alacrity, quickly and eagerly completing the assignment. The team approached the challenge with alacrity, eager to find a solution. The volunteers worked with alacrity, eager to help those in need. The employees showed great alacrity in completing the task, finishing it well ahead of schedule. The athlete showed great alacrity in training, always ready to push herself to the next level.
Reprobate as noun, a person who is morally condemned or disapproved of, a person who is unprincipled or depraved. The criminal was a known reprobate with a long history of offenses. The reprobates loitering outside the store scared away customers. The community center was a refuge for reprobates and troubled youths. The judge declared the defendant a reprobate and sentenced him to jail. The reprobate's friends abandoned him when he needed them the most.
Tender is noun, an offer to perform a service or provide something, often in response to a request or invitation. Legal currency that is no longer valid or has been withdrawn from circulation. He placed a tender on the construction project. The company submitted a tender for the government contract. The chef prepared a delicious beef tenderloin for dinner. The farmer auctioned off his cattle tender to the highest bidder. The company's tender offer was rejected by the shareholders. Cosmopolitan as noun, a person who is not limited to a particular place, community, or country and is considered a citizen of the world. A type of cocktail made with vodka, triple sec, cranberry juice, and lime juice. The Cosmopolitan is a popular cocktail made with vodka, triple sec, cranberry juice, and lime juice. New York City is often called a cosmopolitan city due to its diverse population and international influence. The Cosmopolitan magazine covers a range of topics including fashion, beauty, and lifestyle trends. The Cosmopolitan was a popular literary magazine that featured works by both established and emerging writers. The Cosmopolitans were a group of international artists and writers who lived in Paris during the early 20th century. Derivative as noun, a financial product that is based on the value of another underlying asset, such as a stock, bond, commodity, or index. A quantity that represents the rate of change or slope of a function with respect to one of its variables. The writer's novel was accused of being a derivative of an earlier work. The company's new product was seen as a derivative of a competitor's offering. The musician was criticized for using too many derivative elements in their music. The film was criticized for relying too heavily on derivative storytelling techniques. The artist's work was dismissed as a derivative of a more famous painter's style.
Countermand as noun, an order that cancels or reverses a previous order or command, the act of canceling or reversing a previous order or command. The CEO issued a countermand to the previous directive, changing the company's policy on remote work. The judge issued a countermand to the arrest warrant, ruling that the evidence was insufficient to detain the suspect. The general gave a countermand to the troops, ordering them to retreat and regroup. The government issued a countermand to the travel ban, allowing certain individuals to enter the country despite the restrictions. The union issued a countermand to the strike, calling off the protest and negotiating a new contract with the employer.
Hamstring is noun, a tendon or muscle in the back of the leg, especially one connecting the hip and knee, one of the tendons at the back of the knee that control movement of the lower leg. The athlete pulled a hamstring during the race. The team suffered from several hamstring injuries this season. A tight hamstring can cause discomfort and pain. Stretching can help prevent hamstring injuries. The doctor recommended physical therapy to heal the hamstring injury. Inkling is noun, a feeling or intuition about something, a vague or slight suggestion or hint. She gave me an inkling of what to expect from the interview. He had no inkling of what was about to happen. I had an inkling that he might be lying, but I couldn't prove it. The clues gave us an inkling of where the treasure might be buried. The teacher's hints gave the students an inkling of what would be on the test. Catalyst is noun, a person or thing that precipitates or stimulates a particular event or process. Something or someone that causes or speeds up a change, action, or event. The protests served as a catalyst for social change, leading to widespread reforms. The Internet acted as a catalyst for the rapid dissemination of information. The invention of the printing press was a catalyst for the spread of knowledge and the Renaissance. The introduction of smartphones was a catalyst for the transformation of the telecommunications industry. The scientific breakthrough acted as a catalyst for advancements in medical research and treatments.
Guffaw as noun, a loud, unrestrained burst of laughter, especially one that is accompanied by a slapping of the knees or other similar physical reactions. The movie had some genuinely funny moments that made us burst out in guffaws. His loud guffaw could be heard across the room, drawing attention to himself. She couldn't suppress a guffaw when she saw the silly costume her friend was wearing. The comedian's jokes elicited guffaws and laughter from the audience. He tried to cover up his guffaw with a cough, but everyone had already heard it. Sycophant as noun, a person who flatters in order to gain advantage, a servile, self-seeking flatterer who attempts to win favor or gain an advantage. The politician was surrounded by sycophants who only told him what he wanted to hear. She was called a sycophant for her constant flattery of the boss. The CEO saw through the sycophant's attempts to win his favor with excessive compliments. The king's court was full of sycophants who would do anything for his favor. The teacher quickly learned to ignore the sycophants who were always trying to win her approval. Martinet as noun, a person who strictly adheres to rules and regulations and enforces them harshly. The new boss was a real martinet, always insisting on strict adherence to company policies and procedures. The drill sergeant was known as a martinet, pushing his soldiers to their physical limits in order to toughen them up. The headmistress was a real martinet, enforcing strict rules on dress code, punctuality, and behavior in her school. The orchestra conductor was a martinet, demanding absolute precision and perfection from his musicians, even during long and grueling rehearsals. The coach was a martinet when it came to training, pushing his athletes to work harder and longer than they ever thought possible. Perfidy as noun, a breach of faith or loyalty, especially in a pact or agreement, dishonesty or untrustworthiness, especially in regard to a promise or pledge. His perfidy was exposed when it was revealed that he had been secretly working for the enemy. The company's perfidy was revealed when it was discovered that they had been lying to their customers about the safety of their products. The politician was accused of perfidy when it was discovered that he had accepted bribes from lobbyists. The soldier was punished for his perfidy when it was discovered that he had deserted his unit. The business partner's perfidy destroyed the trust that had been built up over many years.
Meander is noun, a path that follows a winding course, especially a river, a winding or twisting movement. The river's meander through the valley created a picturesque landscape. The tour guide led us on a meander through the old city, pointing out historical landmarks along the way. The author's writing style was characterized by a meander of ideas and thoughts, making it difficult to follow the main point. The bike trail offered a leisurely meander through the countryside, allowing riders to take in the scenery at a relaxed pace. The artist's painting depicted a meander of colors and shapes, evoking a sense of movement and energy. Apathy is noun, absence or suppression of passion, emotion, or excitement. Lack of interest or emotion, indifference. The apathy of the citizens towards social issues is a cause for concern. The student's apathy towards learning affected his academic performance. The company's apathy towards its employees resulted in a high turnover rate. The government's apathy towards the needs of the homeless population led to an increase in the number of people living on the streets. The general apathy towards climate change is hindering efforts to combat it. Firebrand is noun, a person who advocates for or engages in extreme or radical action or behavior. A torch or other source of flame used for lighting or as a weapon. The political firebrand gave a fiery speech that roused the crowd to action. The coach was a firebrand who motivated his team to push themselves to the limit. The activist was a firebrand who fought tirelessly for social justice and equality. The newspaper editor was a firebrand who wasn't afraid to take on controversial issues and challenge the status quo. The firebrand preacher inspired his congregation to live according to their faith and make a positive impact on the world. Gauche, awkward or unskilled in social situations, lacking in social grace or sophistication. His gauche manners made him stand out among the refined guests. The new intern's gauche behavior at the office party was quite embarrassing. She felt gauche and out of place at the fancy restaurant. The politician's gauche comments offended many people. The writer's portrayal of the character's gauche personality was spot on.
Fete as noun. A public celebration or festival, often outdoors, with food, drinks, music, dancing, and other festivities. A religious or cultural event, celebration, or ceremony, usually with special prayers, offerings, and rituals. The town's annual summer fete is always a big event, with games, rides, and live music. The fundraising committee organized a lavish fete to raise money for the local hospital. The school's end-of-year fete was a great success, with plenty of food, drinks, and entertainment. The royal family attended a grand fete at the palace to celebrate the monarch's birthday. The garden fete included a plant sale, a raffle, and a cake competition.
Ascetic is noun, refers to a person who practices self-discipline, self-denial, and self-control, typically for spiritual or moral improvement. The religious order was known for its ascetics, who took vows of poverty and self-denial. The ascetics spent years living in isolation in the mountains, seeking enlightenment. The ascetics' teachings emphasized the value of simplicity and renunciation of material pleasures. The ascetic's self-discipline and devotion to his spiritual practice inspired many followers. The ascetic's extreme fasting and self-mortification were viewed by some as a form of religious fanaticism. Bastardization as noun, the act or process of corrupting or degrading something, often referring to the debasement or deterioration of an original idea, language, or concept. The altering or debasing of something, resulting in a decline in its quality or purity. The film's adaptation was seen as a bastardization of the original novel's intricate plot. The artist protested against the bastardization of his work in the cheap reproductions. Critics accused the new policies of being a bastardization of the company's founding principles. The chef refused to allow any bastardization of traditional recipes in the restaurant. Historians lament the bastardization of historical events in the retelling of stories. Ready to boost your English? Meet our vocabulary app, the fun and effective way to master the language. Books learn advanced words with examples and audio. Direct hit master idioms, proverbs, and phrasal verbs. Video game enjoy quizzes, flashcards, and pronunciation tests. Glow showing Europe, Africa translate into 100+ languages, all in one app. Did you learn new words? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share my channel. Download now and start your journey to vocabulary mastery.